Hey guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Melissa and I help people navigate through their mental health journey. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys 5 signs it is time for you to take a mental health day. So without further ado, let's just get started. This is something that I feel like is completely relevant to me because last week actually I was kind of going through a little bit of a mental rut. Part of what comes with living with bipolar disorder is the ups and downs, and so last week I was going through a little bit of mild depression. Oftentimes when you're kind of walking through it or you kind of going through the motions of it, you don't really pay attention or you aren't really self-aware because you really boggled down and dragged down by the emotions that you're feeling. And I think it's important to become self-aware of what you're feeling and being mindful of it. I have it here and I'm just going to refer to it. So the first sign that you are in need of a mental health day is you're impatient and easily irritated, because when our stress levels are high, our temper can get incredibly short. So if you have been getting angry and don't even know why, it might be worth taking a mental health day. This is something that I kind of neglect often. For me, when I'm going through a little bit of a dip, there's always symptoms of anxiety that accompanies it, and I find myself getting very easily irritated and upset over very petty things that I usually wouldn't. When it comes to these signs and symptoms, it's important that you honor it. It's important that you listen to it because it's your body trying to cry out to you and get your attention and say, hey, I'm kind of in need of a mental health day. I need you to listen to me. And some of the ways that it's trying to communicate with you is through those signs and symptoms. Moving on to the second sign is focusing is a struggle for you. If it feels like your brain can't keep track of anything, you may need to take a day off to recharge your mental health and reset your brain. And I feel like one way for me, this is something that showed up last week, is sometimes when I'm like reading. Have you ever noticed yourself in the middle of reading a book and while you're reading, your mind is focused somewhere else and you realize that it's focused somewhere else? So if you have to constantly go back and reread the same paragraph over and over and over again. And then another sign for me that I experienced last week is I'm currently working on an ebook and I can't bring myself to focus while I'm sitting down to work. I'm fidgety. I can't seem to concentrate. Now that I think about it, I'm like looking at all of these signs and symptoms. That was totally me last week. And then moving on to the third sign is you're not enjoying anything you do. If you are having a hard time finding joy in anything, even the things that used to bring you joy, it may be a sign that you're getting close to a burnout stage. And this is probably a huge indicator for me. I felt really heavy a lot. I felt tired. I napped almost every day last week, and that's not usual for me. That's not something that I usually do. I couldn't bring myself to have energy to do the things that I usually do, just sitting down to film, being excited to create my ebook because it's like a passion project for me. Just a lack of interest in anything, and I didn't want to go outside. It's hard. It's so hard when you are going through that because everything you're feeling, especially when you're feeling exhausted or when you're in a state of depression, all of your feelings, all of your thoughts, all of your emotions and the sensations that you're feeling, they weigh more than if you're in a state of happiness. Everything is so dense. You're just exhausted. You feel heavy and you just don't want to do anything, even the things that you would usually enjoy doing. And if that's something that you're going through, then that's a sign that you are in need of a mental health day. And then moving on to the fourth sign that you are in need of a mental health day is you keep getting sick. Physical and mental health are strongly linked. If you find yourself getting recurrent colds or other physical ailments, it may be a signal that your mind and body need to slow down and recharge. It doesn't happen to me because I catch myself early on with the symptoms, but I have a friend who every time she went back to school or was like in a really stressful state of mind, she would always get sick and always get physical ailments. Sometimes when you're stressed, your body is releasing a lot of cortisol, and when you are in a chronic state of stress, that's your fight or flight system that's turned on. And when your fight or flight system is chronically turned on, all of the other functions of your body are turned off. So your immune system is suppressed, your reproductive system is suppressed, your digestion is suppressed, and so all the other functions of your body begin to fail. That's a sign. And then moving on to the last one, a sign that you are in need of a mental health day is you're exhausted but you can't sleep. When you're constantly facing high levels of stress, your hormones can leave your body completely confused, keeping you awake at night and exhausted during the day. I would wake up at the time that I usually would, and usually I start my day around 7 a.m. and I would feel energetic, but last week I noticed myself snoozing a lot more, and even when I would wake up later, I'd wake up feeling drained, I'd wake up feeling tired and sleepy, and I would just want to nap, and then I'd nap, and then at night I'd be awake. And so one thing I want to say is that, like, even if you're going through all these, it's not a bad thing. It's just your body letting you know that you need a mental health day, and it's important that you honor that, because if you don't, then things could get worse. And so paying attention to the signs and paying attention to what you're feeling, the thoughts that you may be having, the emotions, and your overall state and energy levels is a huge indicator for what the current state of your health is. And no human being is invincible. No human being can run without rest. Kind of like a car, you know, if you're going to be driving a car for a long time, eventually your car needs to cool down. You need to refill it with gas, give it fuel. It's the same thing with your body, because your body knows what's best for you more than anybody else. Engage in self-care practices. It'll go a long way. And especially now where you're kind of living in a culture where if you're resting, if you're napping, then you're perceived as lazy, and that's very toxic. That's a very toxic work environment or perception to have in regards to your productivity. We're only human, and your body is a temple, and it's important that you really nurture it and take care of it. That is it. That is all that I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. That being said, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace, much love, and many blessings to you.